And you were there in Dallas at the Elevate event organised by Uber. Tell us about how it felt. Was there excitement in the room?
So it was a really great event. A lot of people, and what strikes me the most was the energy was there. That was there, and you could really think that something was happening. It was the beginning of a new era of air transportation, and a lot of hurdles have been addressed, discussed, and I'm sure that what we're going to see, what we discuss, we're going to see that in the coming years. Very soon.
Uber said it would like to see flying vehicles being demoed in 2020. Is this a reality? How quickly will we actually start to see Uber using these sorts of flying vehicles as taxis?
So yeah, I think it's going to be a reality. It's going to happen much quicker than what we thought even a year ago, because there's a couple of elements that are ready now. We look at the battery. They have the right density, the right energy storage. So battery are okay. The supercharger, they're ready too. So for a small and short haul, you're going to be able to refuel or recharge your vehicle in less than 5 minutes. The platform or the architecture of this vehicle have been defined, and there's some kind of consensus between a mix of an helicopter and a plane. And what did Aurora space system in terms of a demonstrator was quite interesting and quite feasible. So what I really think is that we're going to see these first flying cars, or at least new mode of transportation, doing their first test flight by next year. That's for sure.
So test flights by next year, maybe even being used as soon as 2020 as the idea goes. What's the market like? Where is the demand as it currently stands?
So what the new thing about that business is that as Uber is pushing it, Uber is creating the right business case for that. In the past, all the different other platform and vehicles that we've seen are more for leisure type of application.
The super rich.
Yeah, super rich, and which is still a niche market, and which means niche market is not well suited for VCs. Doesn't mean that they're not great product, but less for VCs, more for passionate business angels or sovereign funds that want to build their own industry. What we've seen is that. Yeah, it's really a question of timing, and I think the timing is right. Uber looks at their business, and they operate in more than 500 cities. And they think that the number of these type of vehicle per city is between 500 to 1,000. And so when you do the math, when you spread that over 10 to 15 years, yeah, there's a real market. That's a couple of $1 billion market, at least for the platform manufacturer. And yeah. I think we're going to see another 1 or 2 unicorn emerging out of the aerospace segment.
You say Uber works in 500 cities, but I came here from Berlin, and it doesn't work all that pleasantly in 500 cities. Sometimes they've had to work with the regulators, and sometimes it's the taxis that will use Uber, and certainly not individual private drivers. What are the regulatory hurdles looking like for Uber to use flying cars, or anyone indeed?
So there's two things about that new business. Yeah, that new business, they're not going to fight against the legacy taxi driver and industry and lobby, because they're going to bring more electric vehicles flying over the air. So you're going to emit less CO2. You're going to reduce traffic on the ground as you're going to remove some of it through the air. So you're going to really add value to the traffic or the commuting experience to each of these cities. Maybe Berlin or even Paris won't be the first adopters, that for sure. But when you look at cities like, so they talked about Dallas and Dubai, but when you look at cities like Jakarta or even Hong Kong, Shanghai, Beijing or Sao Paulo, these huge mega city with terrible traffic, I'm sure they're going to be the early adopters, and they're going to push even the regulators to evolve either the certification process and all these necessary to make that happen quickly.
So at Starburst Accelerator, what are you putting your money into at the moment? Who are going to be these unicorns that you say are born out of this?
So we are about to release our report on these new flying vehicles. We have listed 7 different categories. Kittyhawk is in one of them. So out of these 7,
pages.
Yeah, there's probably one that's going to emerge, which is we call the fixed wing electrical vertical takeoff and landing category. And in that category, there's a couple of players. Lilium out of Germany is one of them. Joby in the US, Aurora I talked about. Airbus as a big player is entering into the market, and there's still a few that have not emerged, but I know that they're working in more stealth mode.